Hello, today we're going to go over the platen adjustment on an old style jobber number 6. After we review how to adjust the platen, we will remove it and verify that the wedges and system that make the adjustment possible are in the correct position and everything is there, all springs and wedges and all the necessary parts. The old style is characterized a couple of ways. The arm right here that I'm touching is much beefier in the new style and says Golding on it. The old style says Golding jobber and is more petite. The throw-off lever is a key issue as well. In the old style, the throw-off lever functions by pulling up and down, and in the new style you run it back and forth this way in a totally different orientation. There's a few other changes as well, but those are real obvious ones. So and the platen adjustment is the same on the new style and old style, but there are some differences internally, minor but slightly different. Golding was constantly changing and upgrading his machines, his presses over the years. So, and there could be transitional models where there's well, a little bit of each as it progressed through the design changes. As far as adjustments are concerned, unlike a traditional press, like the Pearl, which uses the 4 bolts that are facing in the direction where they the ends of the bolts actually contact the platen, like this old new improved Pearl number 11, the Golding jobber has a completely different and unique system. The bolts, as you can see, like the Pearl, are not evident, but there are bolts, a number of them, on the sides of the platen, as we can see here in the video. What corresponds to the 4 corner bolts in a traditional press are the bolts that are located here and here. Those same 2 are located on the left side of the platen as well. But in addition to those bolts, we have 2 thumb wheels on the right side of the platen, located here and located here. So what goes on here with the Golding jobber is that once you adjust the 4 corner bolts so that your platen is parallel and even with the bed, you can, for the most part, never have to touch them again, because these other 2 additional bolts not found on other presses, the larger thumb operated bolts, such as the one I'm holding, when you move them, turn them in and out, that moves the entire top of the platen in or out. It stays perfectly parallel. Same thing with the bottom, located here, it moves the bottom in or out. So once you've got this perpendicular to the bed with the 4 corner bolts, you are not going to want to alter that orientation. You're going to want to keep it parallel, even if you want to move the top in or out or the bottom in or out to accommodate different thickness plates, cuts, or different thickness papers for the normal adjustment of a platen press. So, why are these traditional 4 corner bolts oriented in a different direction? Instead of working on the platen directly, they work on a series of wedges, and it's not unlike the wedges that were traditionally used for coins, where you had 2 tapered pieces of wood and you pushed the 2 tapers together, which increased the size, and it locked up your type in the chase. Same thing with the metal, only we got to use a key to have the 2 metal planes move in either direction. So that's what's going on inside here, is that horizontal bolt is my finger, and it's pushing against a wedge, and when you turn it in, it pushes the wedge and increases the thickness of the two pieces together, and therefore pushes the platen closer to the bed. If you loosen the screw, a spring pulls the wedge back, and it decreases the overall thickness and takes the platen farther away from the bed. So the adjustment is just working on a wedge system. The upper and lower adjustment bolts that we covered push two wedges or a connected wedge so that it is literally making the wedges thicker on both the left and the right on the top, or the left and the right on the bottom at the same time, which keeps the platen parallel to the bed when you make the adjustment. Now all that is well and good, and by the way, the throw-off lever works on those same wedges inside, so that when I move the throw-off lever, it is moving simultaneously a long wedge, the top wedge, not the bottom individual wedges that are adjusted separately with the corner screws. So that is what actually makes the platen go in or out, get it into the print mode or out of the print mode with the throw-off lever. Same wedges that are adjusted with the top bolt. But as I say, all that's well and good if all of the parts and pieces that are beneath the platen, and we were talking about that operate and make it go in and out with these adjustments, are all in their proper location, and the springs are also in their proper location, so that the mechanisms work as intended. So how do we get the platen off to inspect them? Well, there's not much holding the platen on. In a jobber number 6, there's one bolt, center bolt, right here. That holds the platen just like a traditional press. If we look at the pearl, the center bolt in this array of 5 bolts here is also what holds the platen on and brings it in contact with the corner bolts. So that is the only bolt that is holding on the platen, but there are a couple of other items that we have to attend to. Because the gripper system is attached to the platen, we have to pay attention to that too. And here is the gripper actuator rod, or actuator mechanism that's on the rod, and it has a spring which is attached to the main body of the press. We're going to have to remove that spring because this part right here is coming with the platen after we remove the center bolt and take it out. We also have a mechanism right here, and this fortunately just slides off the end of this shaft. You don't have to unscrew anything. It just literally, once the platen is released, the whole mechanism can be moved to the left, and this part of the actuator mechanism for the grippers will slide right off this bolt. I'm not going to record me doing that because it takes 2 hands for this operation. I'll be back in a minute and we'll continue the video to see what it looks like inside the platen.